The entire theater became silent. Thousands of people stared at the stage as two nervous young men from the Philippines stood beneath the bright lights of America's biggest talent show. Their clothes were simple. Their hands trembled. Their voices had never been heard outside small bars, family gatherings, and local festivals. Then Simon Cowell slowly leaned back in his chair. Nobody knew that the next few minutes would change two lives forever. And nobody expected that a country song from two unknown singers would bring an entire audience to tears. Before we begin, if you believe kindness, second chances, and impossible dreams still exist, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories. The city of Nashville, Tennessee had always belonged to dreamers. Every street seemed to carry music. Every small cafe held a singer waiting to be discovered. Yet for 28-year-old Jacob Rivera and 30-year-old Michael Santos, dreams often felt very far away. The two cousins had grown up in a Filipino family that moved to California many years earlier. Their parents worked long hours cleaning offices, driving delivery trucks, and taking multiple jobs simply to survive. Music was never considered a career. It was something people enjoyed after work, during family dinners, or at church on Sundays. Jacob possessed a soft voice that carried emotion in every word. Michael had a deeper tone that blended perfectly with his cousin's singing. Together, they spent years performing in local restaurants, county fairs, and community events. Sometimes they earned $50. Sometimes they received free meals instead of payment. Life became even harder after Jacob lost his warehouse job during company layoffs. Bills piled up. His mother became sick, and medical expenses increased. Michael worked construction during the day and delivered food at night. Both men nearly gave up music entirely. But every evening, after exhausting shifts, they gathered inside Michael's small garage. Old guitars rested against cracked walls. A single fan pushed warm air through the room. There they practiced country songs they had loved since childhood. Country music spoke to them because the songs told stories about struggle, family, sacrifice, and hope. The lyrics reminded them of their parents and their own difficult journey. One night, Michael saw an online announcement that auditions for America's Got Talent were accepting submissions. At first, both men laughed. They had no manager. No professional recordings. No expensive equipment. No connections. Yet Michael secretly submitted a video recorded on his phone. Weeks later, an email arrived. They had been invited to audition. The journey to Los Angeles felt unreal. They borrowed money from relatives to cover travel expenses. Jacob worried constantly about his mother's health. Michael worried about missing work and losing income. Both feared embarrassing themselves on national television. Backstage at the audition venue, performers surrounded them. There were dancers, magicians, child prodigies, and experienced musicians. Some arrived with teams of assistants and expensive instruments. Jacob and Michael carried two old guitars. As they waited, their hands shook. The producers asked about their story. The cousins spoke honestly about their struggles, their parents, and their dream of honoring their Filipino heritage through American country music. Many people smiled politely. Some looked doubtful. Even the other contestants seemed uncertain that two Filipino singers performing country music could impress the judges. When their names were finally called, they walked onto the enormous stage. The bright lights felt blinding. The audience watched quietly. Simon Cowell looked curious. The judges asked why they chose country music. Jacob explained that country songs taught them about family, hard work, and perseverance. Michael added that music had helped them survive difficult times. Some audience members applauded. Others remained uncertain. Then the music began. The first guitar chords echoed through the theater. Jacob started singing softly. His voice carried pain, hope, and gratitude all at once. Michael joined him seconds later, creating harmonies that filled the entire room. Their accents remained natural. They did not try to imitate anyone. They sang honestly, with emotion drawn from years of struggle. As the song continued, the audience slowly changed. People leaned forward. Some wiped tears. The lyrics about sacrifice and family touched everyone differently. Backstage, crew members stopped working to listen. The cameras captured Simon Cowell sitting unusually still. He rarely showed emotion during auditions, but this time his expression softened. The final chorus arrived. Jacob closed his eyes and thought about his mother. Michael thought about his father, who had worked for decades without complaining. Their voices rose together. The final note seemed to hang in the air. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then the audience exploded. People stood. The judges applauded. Some audience members cried openly. Jacob looked shocked. Michael covered his face with his hands. Simon finally spoke. He said that great music comes from truth, and what they had delivered felt completely honest. He explained that they did not simply sing a country song. They told a story that everyone in the room could understand. Those words meant everything. For two men who had spent years believing they were invisible, being seen by millions felt overwhelming. News clips of the audition quickly spread online. People from across America shared their performance. Filipino community celebrated proudly. Country music fans praised their sincerity. Yet success did not immediately solve their problems. Jacob's mother remained ill. Money remained tight. Both men still worked jobs while preparing for the next round. There were moments when exhaustion nearly defeated them. Michael injured his shoulder at work. Jacob spent nights at the hospital with his mother. Sometimes they wondered if their opportunity would disappear. But letters began arriving. Fans shared stories about losing jobs, caring for parents, and chasing forgotten dreams. Many said the cousins gave them hope. Those messages became their strength. As the competition continued, their confidence slowly grew. They learned that audiences did not care about perfect appearances. People cared about honesty. The two cousins represented countless dreamers who feel too ordinary to succeed. During one rehearsal, Jacob received a phone call. His mother had watched the audition from her hospital bed. With tears in her eyes, she told him she had never been prouder. That moment mattered more than television ratings or applause. Months later, whether they won the competition or not no longer seemed important. They had already achieved something greater. They had shown that dreams have no nationality. Music has no borders. And courage often comes from the people who struggle the most. Now, before this story ends, we have a special request. Please comment below with the words, "Never stop dreaming," if you believe that hard work and hope can still change lives. One evening after another performance, Jacob and Michael stood outside the theater and looked at the city lights. The same men who once practiced inside a tiny garage now heard their music echo across America. They remembered their parents. They remembered unpaid bills. They remembered the nights they wanted to quit. Most importantly, they remembered that every great journey begins when someone chooses to continue despite fear. Their story became more than music. It became proof that talent can come from anywhere, kindness can open doors, and dreams can survive even the hardest seasons. And if this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach people who may be losing hope. Because somewhere tonight, another dreamer is sitting in a small room, wondering if their voice matters. And perhaps, just like Jacob and Michael, they only need one chance to be heard. The audience eventually went home. The stage lights faded. But the memory of two Filipino cousins singing a country song under the brightest lights in America remained forever. And Simon Cowell's reaction said what words never could. Sometimes the most powerful voices come from the people the world least expects.